Welcome into the Ball Out Podcast. I'm your host, Jordan, here with my co-host, Billy. Buddy, we're here to talk about that game over the weekend and look ahead to UTEP coming to town. But I ain't going to lie to you, I was hoping we're going to be having a different conversation today than what we are. But it is what it is.
Yes, sir, man. It was a tough battle, but hey, like you said, it is what it is. We have to move on and hope for the best now.
That's it, man. We're going to have to have a little bit of help, but we're not dead yet. We're not dead yet. We might be on life support, but we ain't dead yet, you know? So, well, buddy, let's talk about this game here, man, just for a few minutes. Opening drive for Georgia, and defense come out. They were ready to play some ball, man. Put them 3 and out, and got the ball back, and we came out swinging early, man. Went down, taking shots in the opening drive with a power run by Kitzelman for 6. I liked that. That was nice to see.
Man, those guys, we played a heck of a first few drives, man. The defense was playing out like perfect, man. I mean, they frustrated Georgia, and God, I wasn't expecting for them to go 3 and out like the first 3 drives, 3 and out. That offense held them out that long. Hey, I had to give them much credit, more credit than I have all season when they was doing that. But God, things changed so.
They did, man. Buddy, they were stifling. Two Georgia drives, 2 punts. Offense was balanced. Play calling was great that first half. I mean, you could tell hype was ready to roll. Wanted to get this one. Knew he needed to get it. I want to say this though: those first few drives seemed like Nico was willing to use his legs a little bit more. I feel like that opens up that offense quite a bit if he's running a little bit more. I think he needs to be doing it.
Well, I told you that's the only way we was going to be able to beat that defense. We have to be able to have a quarterback that can run on stripes defenses like that. That's the same thing with us. If you can run, that's because he's the forgotten player. No one is watching him unless we used to scout him and have a guy like designated to watch him if the quarterback runs. That's how you beat great defenses. You got to have a quarterback that can run, and that's what happened with every game that they actually lost. The quarterback was a running quarterback.
Yeah. That's the truth. I also think, I think our offense is at its best whenever they're using the tight ends in the passing game. It's they're the most short-handed guys, and it's just they know what they're doing. I mean, they get out there, they don't drop many passes. They're athletic tight ends. They can be used in the pass game and the run game, really. I think for the rest of the year, we need to see that. We really need to see that.
Well, I mean, said it on the last show, man, that we're going to have to get the tight end involved. And anytime we've gotten a tight end involved, it has been a great game for the offense. It opens up so much. It creates a situation where you got a player that you got to watch other than sitting them in the zone, watching the slants. You got to protect more than just his middle now. Now the guys on the outside can get open a little bit more. And also, it creates space for the run.
Yes. And I mean, buddy, Samson had himself another great game. I mean, he did. Third drive, though, for Georgia. It starts deep down in their territory. We get another 3 and out. So, I mean, like you said, 3 drives, man. 3 and out. Also, Boo Carter, put the boy on offense, too. Hell, I mean, he was so close to busting that game wide ass open for the balls on that punt return that the punter took him down on. He returns that. We are having a totally different conversation because at that point we were up 7-0, building momentum. A punt return can change a game on a dime, and all he had to do was beat the punter, and he had it. But I think on the flip side of that, if you're a Georgia fan, you're looking at that and you're like, that right there could have potentially saved the game for us, because I don't know that would have took that crowd completely out of it. And then right after that, man, they hold us to 3, and then they start getting some momentum.
Yep, that was huge, man. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like we took the crowd out of the game early, and that's the part that I was hoping we didn't let those guys get loose. I mean, you're talking about a whole bunch of fans that have been drinking all day, and they come in, and those first few drives, it was the life was taken out of them.
Yes.
We were able to do anything we wanted to. And you can see, once that crowd got back into it, that's when our offense got shaken.
Yes. That fourth drive, we got them down to third down, and Beck takes off, gets and converts the third down. Next play, Georgia scores and gets scored 10-7. So that's whenever that was the turning point really of the game. I mean, we held on and played with the lead most of the first half, but after that, man, we kind of moved it to midfield. Thornton dropped an easy one to convert on second down, and then we get a false start, 3rd and 4. Moves it to 3rd and 8. Then the very obvious pass interference on Squirrel on the sideline that the flag stayed in the pocket on and ended up with a punt. So 2 things there. We had a drop and then a no call and a false start. 3 things really. We killed ourselves on that drive. So it's just it's a game of what ifs really. If you really look at it, kind of, what if they throw the flags that they're supposed to? And I'm not necessarily bitching about the refs. I mean, Georgia had to do some stuff too to win the game, but some of the stuff was awful. Some of them just.
You're right, man. That was a lot. I mean, the thing is, like, every play you could probably call a penalty, but like some of the penalties, I mean, some of the plays that they didn't call, and some of it was just too obvious for them not to call, and it created a situation that was like, snaps, here we go again.
Yeah. Well, the very next drive for Georgia, Dylan Bell. This one, I'm okay with them not calling that first one. They said it was a no fumble, incomplete pass. It was an incomplete pass because it was one of those little shovel dump passes, out of the jet sweep or whatever. He just didn't corral it. But the next play after that, dude catches the ball, takes 2-3 steps, and then drops the damn thing. We recover it, and they're like, nope, incomplete pass. He had tucked it, everything. And you're going to sit here and tell me that was an incomplete pass after he made 2 moves. No, that was a fumble all day long. It don't matter what level of football you're on. That's a fumble.
What gets me was the fact they didn't review it.
No, didn't even offer to. They were like, yep, we're just going to call it like it is, No, and it was inside 2 minutes, so we couldn't ask for a review. It's like, come on now.
It was supposed, anytime it's a questionable situation, it's supposed to come straight from the booth. They supposed to automatically review it and see it and call it.
Yeah. And then that's it. Weirdly enough, that same drive ends in 6 for Georgia. Refs are to get credited with at least an assist on that one. They go up 14-10. Peyton Lewis, though, next drive keeps it going. Squirrel had a good first down catch over the middle. They called it incomplete, though. This is right before half, so I'm sure kind of remember what I'm talking about here. We're moving the ball. He was open over the middle. They said he didn't survive the ground, which to me, he did. If nothing else, that was a catch and fumble, and we recovered it. But I mean, like, it seemed like that happened a lot this weekend, especially over college football and in the NFL. There were some pretty shitty calls in the NFL too, honestly. So it's I don't know. To me, officials shouldn't play that much of a role in the game, but yeah, it is what it is.
And I'll be honest, like a lot of people was, saying that, we as Tennessee fans were complaining about the refs. It wasn't the fact we was complaining; it's the fact that there was obvious situations.
Yes,
and of course, a lot of people say that wouldn't have changed the outcome. We don't know that. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about down and distance is a big difference from having 2nd and 2 and 3rd and 7. That's huge.
Yeah.
I truly, as a player throughout my career, I never blame referees for our losses or wins. I never ever blamed them because the way I did it when I played, we made sure the referees didn't have enough room to give them that opportunity. We try to beat them until they make the play. Hell, run over the referee until he called the play. Hell, pay the ref in the forehead until he called the play.
That's it,
But it is what it is. I mean, I had a feeling that it was going to be that way. And Georgia didn't need any help. When they're supposed to be the top guys, I just want it to be a fair situation for both sides. Refs have a job to do. There shouldn't be any bias because it's your home team or whatever. The rules are supposed to be the exact same.
Yeah. Yeah, it don't matter what color jersey you're wearing, where you're playing, it's supposed to be the same no matter what. And they can say we're complaining all they want to, because yeah, we are. We are. I mean, I don't care. I'll say it right outright. I'm complaining about the refs because they suck. I mean, that's just how it is. Like that squirrel no call and pass interference in the first half. That was a 3rd and 8. After we had put ourselves in a 3rd and 8 situation on a false start, you just don't, you get that flag, it's a whole new set of downs, and it's at the spot of the foul because it's within 15 yards, and you get a new set of downs. Who knows what goes down after that? Instead, we're trotting Jackson Ross out there to punt it, and we lose a possession because the refs keep a flag in our pocket. But even after the incomplete pass for squirrel, catch and fumble, all that, well, what we think is catch and fumble, we end up going 75 yards, 10 plays. Ends with a Dylan Sampson touchdown. We go up 17-14. We go into the second half, tied 17-17. Georgia finds a way to get a field goal out of it late. And then we go into the second half, and man, to me, it was like a tale of two halves. We were kind of talking a little bit about it before we jumped on here to record, but it was a little bit of, to me, there's not a whole lot to talk about in the second half, really, other than I just don't feel like we did much offensively. But you had a good point there before we jumped on here, so I'll let you take off on that one.
Which one was it? I'm trying to remember.
About a lot of good things happened in that second half. We just couldn't capitalize.
Well, yeah, I mean, we had a lot of situations. I mean, it wasn't as bad as it looked. I mean,
right.
Show it, but I truly still think we did a good job. It's just execution is a big thing, man. And then, of course, it doesn't help when you got, the biased calls. I mean, it's
yeah.
To be successful on both sides of the ball. I mean, I'm not going to even complain about it because we still didn't do what we were supposed to do to create situations to help us. And defensively, I want to say this the second half was probably the worst half of football we've seen from Tennessee all season.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Outside of maybe the Arkansas game.
It was worse than Arkansas.
I could see that though. But like I say, it was kind of like night and day difference in play calling between first and second half. Dylan Sampson only touched the ball 6 times in the second half Saturday.
That's what I'm saying. They changed the whole dynamic of the game plan. See, it was like people said that we didn't change anything to switch it up. We did a lot of change. The thing is that we shouldn't have been changing.
Right.
We should be continuing to do our offense and don't let Georgia dictate what we do.
Exactly. Because they had done it all game. Sampson was getting 4 or 5 yards of carry, and we were using him in the passing game. You and I discussed that too. Just they were using him how he should have been being used all year, honestly. But it's just I woke up Sunday morning, seeing the score 31-17. I was like, damn, we didn't get on the board at all in the second half, and I've seen we had opportunities to do so. And I did see Georgia tacked one on late to make it look a lot better than it was. But, man, here's a couple things I wanted to maybe try to discuss with you here. We both get on Facebook, read on there and stuff. I'm sure we see everything that fans post and whatnot. Saying Tim Banks lost this game for us, saying the defense lost the game. I don't believe that. I disagree with that. 150% disagree with that.
I'm with you there, man. No, they did not. I don't think Tim did. I mean, execution is what lost that game for us defensively. Defensively, up front, we didn't do what we were capable of doing. We made Beck look like the Heisman winning quarterback, man.
We did.
I mean, the pressure was there. We just didn't make the play.
Yeah. Well, also, Beck's not played great.
How many yards did he rush for? Because that is what killed us.
I will tell you real quick. Hold on, just one
It
second.
may not even be that many, but it was just the big plays he made when it came down to having to make that.
It was the yard. It wasn't that he had a whole lot. It wasn't that he ran all over us like Michael Vick. It was just the point that he was able to do it in a time where he was able to extend drives is what it was. That's what hurt us.
And then I'll be honest with you, I tell you this here, like I was saying that we would have to run the ball with our quarterback to be successful against this defense. If I'm not mistaken, I think Nico did run the ball like 10, 12 times or something like that.
He did. We'll look at that here right quick. Carson Beck had 3 rushes for 32 yards, 10.7 yards a carry, and a touchdown.
And that's it, the 10 yards of carry.
Yeah, he was able to take off whenever he wanted to, really, and he done just fine. As opposed to our quarterback, Nico, 12 carries, 24 yards, 2 yards a carry. But also, I feel like Nico was very situational, and he ran when he needed to, not because he wanted to. But he does need to run more. I feel like it opens us up quite a bit more. This kind of ties into what we were talking about too, though. No points scored second half. Second half play calling, I kind of do have an issue with it just because we came out so hot offensively. And then Dylan Sampson touches the ball 6 times in the second half. Like, that's your best player. That's your workhorse. That's your bell cow. Hand that man the ball. Let him eat. It don't matter if it's sexy or not. Let him do it.
I'm with you there. Yes, I'm with you there, man. Like, we just gotta continue to do what we do best. And I'm gonna keep saying, we got to run the ball. We got to create different schemes of running situation. Like, we got to get out of the shotgun every single time when we run the ball.
Yes.
I think, I'm serious. Like, we got to shake it up. Come with some, some I formation. Let's get a fullback in there or a tight end back there, something. Let's change it up. Let's get some of these guys pulling and running downhill. We just got to change the dynamics up, man. We got to play action. Play action in the
Yes.
back in the shotgun is totally different out of the I backfield. Totally different.
Excuse me. Yeah. No, I agree with you, man. Like, I like that formation that Kitzelman got his touchdown out of on the goal line. I get that's not something we're gonna do quite a bit, outside of that situation, but we have athletic tight ends. Drop them out there in a damn full house formation, something like that. Just let them go, let them eat. I mean, they're athletic enough to run the ball, big enough to pop it for 4 or 5 yards. Let them do it. The next thing I wanted to ask you about adjustments. Do you feel like I know I see them in most games, and I see them every game. I mean, they do adjust, but I feel like maybe Kirby just has Hype's number. I don't know, or maybe Hype over adjusts and outsmarts himself sometimes, because it seems like whatever adjustments we made Saturday, we're not working and we're not the right ones.
So here, let's go back to the beginning of this situation when I call adjustments. Adjustments don't work if there's no execution. So when I, as a coach, call a play, let's say if I call, a run play 20 times and the same thing happens, the problem is not that the defense is doing the job well. It's just that the kid is not executing the blocking scheme well. It doesn't matter. Like, if the kid does not block the scheme, or if the kid don't run the route, or if the snap is bad, there's so many things when it comes to that. The adjustments weren't there. It's just we wasn't executing, whether it was giving the quarterback enough time to throw the ball, or we didn't block the guy that just completely crushed the center and got in the backfield. It's the execution that's not happening.
And I get that. You see that at every level too. You can tell a kid where to go, where to be at, all you want to. If he don't want to do it, he ain't going to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I get where you're coming from with that. We did mention this too. Pass game's better with the tight ends, and Nico needs to run more. I think those are 2 things going down these last couple of games here we need to see. Like, I do feel like maybe, and I don't necessarily mean it in a bad way, but I feel like they've not cut Nico completely loose just yet. Maybe they have, and he's just not.
So yeah,
I don't know.
I got to get back to you on that, man. Like, he is loose. He's the number one quarterback. There's no such thing as he's loose or he's a freshman. He is 2 years in this system now. The problem is he's a golden child, and everybody's giving him every excuse in the book. Guys, let's talk that. He is messing up because the defense are creating those situations. He's overthrowing it or is behind them. He is doing it too. We got to criticize him as well. I'm sorry. Because when it comes to the situation becoming the quarterback, he looks identical to what we used to call Joe Milton bad.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Joe did last year, same thing that's going on right now with Nico. But everybody was calling Joe a bad quarterback, overthrow Joe because of his age. The age ain't got nothing to do when you're winning, is it? But only time when he's losing and messing up, now he's a young quarterback.
I'm with you.
He has to get the same criticism as every quarterback get when you lose.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you there. I don't like making excuses for him because to me, if he was as good as he's billed to be, he shouldn't be making these mistakes. I'm with you. I feel like play calling puts him in a bad position, but at the same time, to your point, if he's as good as he's billed, he shouldn't be making those decisions. So I'm with you. I'm with you as far as that goes. I feel like these next couple of games, Hype's got to let him hang because it's going to come down to we're going to do another episode here in a bit about the playoff rankings, but it's down to crunch time now. We're going to have some help. Those come out last night. We had a lot to say in our text messages last night about that, so we'll bring that out here on the pod here shortly. But yeah, I'm with you, man. I don't want to make excuses for Nico because I feel like if he was as good as he's built, he should like we were saying, he shouldn't be making those mistakes. And Joe got a lot of grace last year that Nico should. It's just it's ridiculous, honestly.
Well, I mean, they don't like just look at Nico this season. Like, the stats alone as far as what's going on. Like, the problem is not all Nico though. Like that. I mean, I'm not saying it's all his fault.
Right.
There's some situations and times that it should have been an easier throw or take a little bit off or throw it a little bit lower. But the reason for those bad situations is he's getting pressured. They're not holding him off long enough to get that easy throw. And that's what I'm trying to let everybody know. Like, all of this is not the quarterback. Just like I told everybody last season, it wasn't all the quarterback. There's so many things that goes into this piece that it's not the quarterback, the receivers running the right route or getting up the line of scrimmage or the offensive tackle giving him time enough to go through his progressions. It's different when you got time because you see, anytime Nico has the time, it's a dime. He's on the money. It's in stride. He got an easy play. The same thing last year with Joe. And he had time. He made the play. He made the throw. It's just how it works, man. If everybody's not on the same page, it's not going to work offensively.
No, absolutely. Well, we talked about it before. You're only as strong as your weakest link, and it don't matter on every play. It could be a different position group that's not doing their job, and if they don't do their job, then you're hoping for the best. Well, bottom line, we come out of that one with a loss, man. It sucks, but here we are. We go down 31-17 to the Dogs. We just might get another shot at them though in the playoffs. We'll see. We're gonna have some help, but let's run down through UTEP right quick. I don't really have any defensive stats on them because I don't think it's gonna matter this week. Stat game.
It better be a stat game, man. Like I said, starters better be out by halftime. This is a game where we got to beat them by 50.
It got to 50 burger. UTEP, they come in, they've lost 3 out of their last 5. They give up 19 points a game, or they score 19 points a game, 7 yards passing per game, 6.8 yards per attempt. They've got 14 touchdowns, 10 interceptions on the season. Defensive line should eat this game. 23 sacks. They've been sacked 23 times this year for 112 yards lost. Let's see if we can get about 7 sacks this week. That'd be nice. 7, 8, somewhere in that neighborhood. That'd be real nice.
Oh, yeah, this is the perfect game for the young kids to come in and get excited and have some fun. Normally this is typically our homecoming game right now, but
Right.
the new SEC schedule, so it's a little bit different now. So hopefully they come out and cover the spread, because I think the spread is like 41, 42 or something like that.
Yeah, I was looking at that this morning. It was it's 42.5.
Oh,
That's a big one. That's a big one. But UTEP, they get 124.7 yards per game rushing, 3.4 yards carry. They've only got 7 rushing touchdowns on the season, so it's not like we're playing a prolific offense here this weekend. They get 332 yards a game. They give up a lot of penalty yardage. They shoot themselves in the foot quite a bit. They've got 50 yards per game in penalty yardage. So, crowd brings it. We should be good for at least 25 of them. You think?
yeah. Well, of course, when I see that many penalties, that's when I know they're not a good ball team. They're not a really disciplined team, or they're probably got a lot of young kids, not a lot of seniors on that team. So we just have to go out and do our job, expose them, and get on the field quick. Like I said, by halftime, we should be installing the backups. Like, let's get Nico off the field. I don't care about the stats anymore. We know he's not going to get the Heisman. But, of course, if Samson, we should at least have a 200-yard rushing game with 3-4 touchdowns for him.
Hey, I'd be down with it, man. I mean, even still, though, man, I still want to. He should be firmly in the conversation. I don't care what happened last week at Georgia. That boy should be in the conversation. I mean, he has to be. Has to be. I'm sorry, he has to be. You lead the SEC in rushing and in rushing touchdowns. How are you not in the Heisman conversation? You know what I mean?
We know why he's not.
We do.
It's. I mean, I hate to say it, it's very disturbing. Like,
It is.
guys, this man had over 100 yards against a very stout defense. I mean, people don't realize that Georgia defense is still good. It's not the best defense that it is. Still don't think they're better than our defense, but they're still good. They still have that much talent on that team.
They're loaded still, man. It don't matter. They're loaded. They're young, but they're loaded. I mean, you're going to be young when you lose that much off of a pretty much an NFL type defense. I mean, that's just the way it is. A little bit more on UTEP offense, though. They're 32% on third down, 47 for 148 on the year, 3% on fourth down, 7 for 21, and they hold the ball for 28 minutes a game. I was looking. They beat Kennesaw State in double overtime. So that should tell you about all you need to know. This could be a Kent State type of game if we want it to be, and I think we need it to be, honestly. Build up some confidence before we go beat up little brother next week.
Well, we're going to need it, man, because, I mean, you know that Vandy is coming with their A game.
Yeah, they've done it all year whenever they play. They either play up or they play down, and to their competition, and they'll be ready. They'll be ready to give us all we want next weekend. Buddy, let's put a bow on this one. We don't really have much to talk about with UTEP. I mean, I think we know how it's going to go. I hate to do that. I hate to say that because, I mean, you never do know. They line up to play the games for a reason. But if there's a reason we have to talk about UTEP, we'll do it next week. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to talk some playoff football here in just a minute. We'll put that out as a separate one. Let's end this one with how we always end it, with a big old Go Vols, and let's go from there.
Yes, sir. Go Vols.